for the fans?
Please. No, people, it's a total misconception.
Okay.
We're signed to a record company called Frontiers in Italy.
Frontiers, yes.
And so we did it with them.
Okay.
We got a producer called Jay Ruston, who's Canadian but living in America. He's the hot guy around. He does the Warrior Dogs, Black Star Riders, Europe.
What's his name?
Jay Ruston.
Oh yeah, he's right here.
He's coming.
North Hollywood.
Yeah. Well,
he's the guy.
Tonight. He's coming tonight.
Is he coming tonight?
Yeah. First time we've seen us live. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And so we got him over to England, and we recorded the album in 19 days, because we went in the studio and played as a band. We didn't do it piecemeal. We didn't do it, send files to each other. We just stood in a room, put the mics up, and let's play. And that's how we did it. That's why we did it so quickly.
Yeah.
And then for solos, he'd say to me, "Okay, Mick, rather than leave the song, you're into it. Let's go and do the solos." So we did the solos and overdubbed stuff. So we really captured all the magic that was there and kept it rolling. So he was fantastic to work with. Yeah.
Now, who recommended him? Was it the label or somebody?
Through their management, funny enough.
Okay.
Yeah. Siren Management.
Yeah,
we've got two guys, Ace Trump.
Yeah. They got the Black Star Riders and.
Yeah. And Adam Parsons put
Tax
the two of them
Heat
together.
And, all those bands.
Adam's English, living in America, and Ace is Canadian, living in America. But and then we signed to them. We signed to a new agency, OPA.
Okay.
With an agent called Keith Naisbitt and URIAH, who does a lot of stuff with him, and it's kind of grown now, which is why we're coming to America more, because they're based here, whereas if you're based in Europe, it's very difficult to get over and make the whole thing work. Yeah,
it's normal business for them, and of course, we can't wait to hear the new music and all the classics.
It takes on the same trademarks Heep's always had. We allowed some of the songs to breathe. So it gets a bit progressive at times, which is good, and we've got the straight ahead stuff that everyone expects from Heep anyway, So it's a good album. It's a very, very strong album. Yeah.
Can't wait to spread the news on that.
And we call it "Living the Dream" because, in fact, that's what we're still doing. We're still touring the world. We play in 61 countries.
Yeah.
So we are living the dream.
No, it's a beautiful thing
because of the fans.
Yeah. And I guess the internet's really opened up the world to even more countries that are finding out about this music.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. As I say, we're up to 61, and that's probably more than most bands ever get to tour.
That's amazing. Now I understand the name of the band. It goes back to Dickens. Is that right,
that's
David
right,
Copperfield?
Yeah.
It's a character.
Yeah, Charles Dickens, the character. He's an old Dickensian accountant.
Wow.
Nasty piece of work, but it was take on a character from Charles Dickens as your name and travel around the world is great, because quite often we've turned people not only onto our music, we've turned them onto Charles Dickens novels as well.
Sure.
So it's great.
Yeah, no, it's important for people to expand their minds. Listen to lots of different kinds of music and do some traveling and all that.
I think it's very important.
The music definitely helps.
If you live tunnel vision, it's not healthy thing
to do. No. I always say you can't grow an oak tree unless you have some deep roots.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah.
And what other advice can you give to the young players, young bands? I know it's a different time, different world, but as far as like the mind state or the perseverance, what's it take?
I think, to be honest, it's very hard to explain. But obviously, all the you've got to be disciplined. You've got to put the hours in. You've got to work at it. Etc. Etc. But I think you have to develop some individuality, because back in the 70s, I never played like Richie Blackwell. Richie didn't play like Tony Iommi. Tony Iommi didn't play like any other guitarist. And so we all had the bass players, the keyboard player, the singers, all had their own style, and it's the sum of those parts that gave each band the flavour that they had, and it stood the test of time. So it's very important to be individual in what you do, and I can only equate that with nowadays you've got these guitar colleges, and they go in the front door and they come out 2 years later, all playing brilliant guitar, all sounding exactly the same.
Yeah.
There's no attention in that process for the individual and drawing that out of them. Which I think sadly missing, because I see hundreds of guitarists and stuff that play absolutely great, but I think the important thing is with the individuality is you've got to connect. You've got to connect with your audience. People miss that. They might be playing great and head down and everything else, but if you're not connecting with an audience. And that's very important to do.
Yeah, the engagement.
You see it with URIAH Heep tonight. We connect from note one.
Oh yeah. Always a treat. Always
Yeah.
great stuff. Mick, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Love the band.
Thank you very much.
Can't wait
mate.
to support anything and everything you do.
Happy days.
Awesome.